Welcome aboard, Tony Milazzo, and you are live and on board. And my guest today is Francisco Ramos.
Yes, I'm aboard. I'm bored and alive. I'm bored in the boat, alive.
Do I also say it right? Because I'm from Brooklyn. Everything's Ray.
I mean, I think...
Is it Ramos or Ramos?
No, Ramos. I mean, Ramos. No, Ramos. Yeah.
It is Ramos.
But you can... I
could say Ramos?
You can say Ramos.
Okay.
I think people always go Ramos. Spanish-wise is Ramos, but...
Yeah, it is, huh?
Yeah, but that's fine.
I'm Latin, too.
Oh, you are?
Yeah, yeah.
Are you not Italian?
I'm Italiano.
Italiano. Yeah.
No speak, though, because, then we'd be able to talk a little bit, maybe.
Yeah,
of course.
Is
close,
of course.
Yeah. So good to have you out here on the boat today.
No, man, thanks for having me. I've never been doing a podcast in a boat. This is pretty cool.
Oh,
I mean,
I think I'm the only one doing it.
I think so. I mean, in the beginning, I thought you were about to kill me. The way that I was like, I love mafia movies. I love like Goodfellas and like, and then Godfathers. And then I was like, this is Carlito's way right now. Like I'm going around to the boat right now.
Must have been the way I asked you. Was I like,
come out to the boat. Come down. It's like, yes, over there. Yeah. The podcast is down there.
We're going to do a radio show. Walk quickly.
No, but this is fun. This is actually really cool.
Good. Well, I'm glad to have you on board.
Yeah, man. This is great. Thanks for having me.
Yeah. So, do you have any boating experience whatsoever? Or have you been out on a boat before?
You know what? When I was, I used to go a lot. My dad used to fish a lot. So, we used to go all the time, like, back in Venezuela. So I remember one time we went to this, we hired, like my dad was with his friends and he hired like some people to drive us, but it wasn't like a boat like this. It's one of those like little, like the one with just the engine, like.
Oh, right.
And that's it. And it was like, I don't know, like 7 people there were going, and we went kind of like on the sea. And I remember one of my uncles is like, hey, he was telling my dad, it's like, hey, why don't you watch Francisco who's going to get seasick. He should, take some van. And my dad's like, well, we'll see. And then, of course, we get to the out in the sea, and then my uncle's the one who got sick. He's the one throwing up, and I'm like, just like, hey, this is cool.
The one who said it, yeah.
The one who said it did it, yeah. But then what happened was that when we were about to leave, the engine wouldn't start, and we're like and then that's when I started panicking, and the guy who was like driving the thing, he's like, hey, oh no, I'm just gonna like swim to the. We're like, swim? You can't even see the fucking land from here. I'm like, and then finally started, and then like, but I was like, so it was kind of like I was like 8 or 7, so it was kind of like scary.
You gotta love boating.
But I love it. I love the sea. I love
boating.
I love it. I never. But
not if you own the boat. You love. But you keep saying it to yourself. But you keep fixing things. I mean, boats always break down like that. It
is, right? It's like I heard. It's like this is your boat. You gotta fix it all the time. You gotta do all that stuff. Yeah.
And it still leaves. It'll leave me places. I'll get stuck out there. I have that unlimited towing gold card.
AAA boating.
AAA on the water. Yeah.
Damn. Wow.
You need it.
So have you gotten like stuck in out there when you go out with your boat?
Oh yeah, I have all kinds of stories. I have big storm stories.
Really?
I used to do rescue too, for search and rescue.
Oh really?
Yeah, just so I could see everybody else's mistakes and what causes them to get killed, so that I wouldn't. You'd
be like, oh, you did that? Okay, cool. I'm just here. I'm not even here to rescue you. I just want to know what you did.
Yeah, the odds are pretty good you're going to survive today. The odds.
Oh, good. You're
going to make it. Yeah.
Good. I think I can swim from here to the.
That's why that's why we call it live and on board instead of like dead and on board.
Yeah. But if nobody doesn't hear me from me for the next 2 weeks, at least tell my mom that I went to church.
Yeah.
That's all she's gonna care about.
You might miss your next show. So for people who do not know you, I'm going to fill them in a little bit with. You're an actor, you're a comedian, you're a writer, you're a voiceover artist. Is there anything I left out?
That's pretty much it. I mean,
you're a Renaissance man.
I guess you can call it.
Very talented guy. If you don't know Francisco, you should. You have websites, right?
Yeah, I have a website, franciscoeramos.com, and then I got Twitter at @FRamosComedy, which is Instagram as well, at @FRamosComedy. So you can Google me.
So here's where I remember you from.
Right.
I remember you in Rio, one of the voices, and that was the lead marmoset.
The lead marmoset, the lead monkey. I was the king monkey.
Pretty cool.
That was pretty cool. That was like my first thing that I ever did. Yeah. It was like my first kind of audition. I never even auditioned before because I was like, I got recommended by a comic, and I went. I didn't have an agent at that time either, so I just went straight to the casting director, and and then I did it. And it's funny because like I got the sites like the day before or something, and I knew it was like a Brazilian movie, so I was like, well, I guess I got to do a Brazilian accent. So I was working when I did that, when I memorized the lines, I was like just doing like a Brazilian accent. So I go to the audition, and then I start doing my lines in a Brazilian accent, and then the casting director's like, what are you doing? It's like, just talk like you. It's like, we just want, like, Americans are not going to know the difference between a Brazilian accent or like a Venezuelan accent. It's like, as long as you have an accent, we're good. So, so after that, I just started like doing my own voice, and it kind of, and then we went through several rounds of auditioning, and then finally they settled into me being the monkey, and and the rest is history.
Yeah, how much fun is that?
But it was
Good
fun.
For you.
Yeah, it was a great. It got me right away into like getting SAG. How you have to get SAG and all that stuff. So it's like Taft-Hartley and everything. Oh. So it was great. It was like right away. My first little big thing.
So you were recommended by a comedian. I'm just going to take a wild guess here because when I Googled you online in your bio, I also saw Mama Duke with George Lopez. So was George the one who...
No, he wasn't. No,
I was going to ask you if you were like his illegitimate son, and that's how you got in the door,
Maybe I am. Maybe he doesn't want to recognize. He doesn't want to get me in the show, so I don't know.
I mean, people say he's Mexican too, but he's probably Venezuelan.
He's probably, He's actually, because he's older, so he had to change to being Mexican in order to get recognition. It's a different age now, so now I can be Venezuelan. It's cool.
Oh, okay.
No, but no, it was actually a Marmaduke. I got it too because while I was filming Rio, the same casting director was doing Marmaduke, and he recommended me to the, and then I did it. Just went in and did a voice with, in Marmaduke, and great.
That's beautiful.
Yeah.
That's how it works too. It's
all about recommendation.
Who really like you, and boom,
it's networking.
You're in everything.
Yeah, once you get something and then they like you, then it's like getting. I always call you just got to get into the club.
Yeah.
Once you get into the club, then people are just going, I need Tony for this. Boom, you're already in there. But if they don't know you, they're not gonna get you. You know what I'm saying?
And the buzz is out there. You're really hot right now. There's a lot of stuff happening.
Where's the buzz coming from?
Funny. It's I'm hearing things. I'm hearing things.
Wow.
I'm hearing voices.
Yeah, I got it. Well, as long as you're hearing something, that's good.
I better go get checked out. But I'm hearing good stuff.
Wow, cool.
So when did you first realize that you're an entertainer and you're talented, or this is what you want to do?
Yeah. Well, I major in finance and international business. That was my thing. I used to live back in D.C. When we moved to Venezuela, I was 12. We moved to D.C., Maryland, DMV area, which is called now. And, I went to school over there, went to college, went to the University of Maryland, College Park, majored in finance and international business. And then, it was like my last semester, and I never thought about anything artistic or anything like that. But then I was like, I was taking one class where I thought was gonna be like the class that I was like, oh, this is what it was called, security evaluation. I was like, oh, that's what I want to do, and I took it. And when I was like, I wasn't like at all like, I didn't like the class at all. I was like, this class sucks. I cheated my way through it, and I was like. And then after that, I started realizing, like, this is not good. I'm like, the stuff that I wanted to like, now I don't like. And then and then I had a girlfriend at the time, and I started working right away. And everything was, like, kind of like the same. It was kind of like, I kind of knew what my life was going to be for the rest of my life if I kept doing what I was doing.
Right.
I had like a little midlife crisis, what I call. Yeah. So then I started going, man, I got to find something that I like. And then I actually went to like Barnes and Nobles and started like reading self-help books, like about like I remember I bought one where it was kind of like, hey, I don't know what I want to be, but I know something like that. And then I also read The Alchemist by Paulo Coelho, which is one of my favorite books, that talks about finding your that you're here for a reason and all this stuff. And then that book that I bought, it basically gave you a little exercise to find what you liked. And everything always led to like me. I like comedy. I like making people laugh. I like joking around. I never keep, I always, went to that route. So, I kept working and stuff like that. And then like, kind of like hiding, not like hiding, but I didn't tell anybody. But I took one class at the DC Improv, like improvisation. Because at that point, Whose Line Is It Anyways was very popular. So I watched that all the time, and I was like, I enjoyed it. So I was like, let me take one class. So I took it, and I remember the first day I was like, wow, it felt natural to me, and I never taken any acting or anything like that, but it felt natural. And I took the class, and remember the first show that we did, I was nervous, but when I got on stage, I was like another guy, and and it was good. People laughed. I was like really good at it, and I was like, and then, so for that year on, I took all classes for improv. I did all the courses. And then I think during that year I went for spring break to LA and with a couple of friends, and then I was like, I like that. It gave me I was like, I think I'm gonna live here once, And then the next year I moved here, to drive, drove across country, moved here, got a job here in an investment firm, and then I started just doing open mics, and then just to see, because my point was like, I kind of I was realistic. I'm not like those people. I was like, I'm gonna go in there. I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna be a star right away. No, I kind of I know I have to and I also wanted to see
if I took the rose-colored glasses off and got in the trenches.
Yes, and see if I really had the talent for it. So I started doing open mics and here and there, and meeting people, and then all of a sudden, I start, I started working at the Comedy Store. That really, that's one thing that kind of changed me, because when I got there, kind of once you start working at the Comedy Store, especially during that time, it's kind of all right, now you're kind of in a semi way past, because you're So then I started doing more shows there.
That's where I first met you.
The Comedy Store. Yeah. That's the club that I started.
With Chris and Whitney.
Yeah. I was there with all. Yeah, Bobby Lee worked there too. I mean, not while I was there, but he also worked there, and then I worked there for 2 years, and then I got passed, and then I just been doing other just every year, doing more shows, and
Well, good stuff. I'm glad you found your thing.
Yeah, and I think that's it's just finding what you want to do. You know what I'm saying? And it's that what makes you happy, whatever it is. Yeah. I always tell people, do whatever the fuck you want.
And and it's something that makes not only you happy, but you're making a lot of people happy and laugh. I mean, it's a whole healing thing.
It is. It's it's so good when somebody tells you at dinner show, oh man, that was so. You could genuinely tell that they had a good time, and I was like, well, it's fun that you could do that, Yeah. That's an amazing, gift that we have as comics,
Yes. I mean, what really touches me is those nights when you do a show like that and you have that one person come up or backstage and just says to you, you have no idea what my life's like. It's horrible. Yeah. And you made me escape it tonight and laugh for the first time in years. And you go, wow, okay, cool.
Yeah, sometimes we don't realize that we affect people like that. Sometimes we take it for granted, I think, as comics. It's but it is true. I got in that too. People come up to me and you could tell it really helps them.
Yeah, you take them, you get their mind off things. Take them on a little adventure.
Distract them. Yes,
even if it's for 2 minutes, right? Even if it's for a 2 minute
And I think that's the key about comedy, is to distract them. To from because everybody has their life. Everybody has stuff happening in their lives. We all do. As comics too. So it's is we can just get away from it for a little bit and really and then just think it makes you realize all right, everything's let's not take everything so seriously, kind of thing. Let's.
Are you okay? Are you good at that? Lightening things up in your own life?
I try. I mean, I think we all even I think as comics, we're very.
I was gonna say, I don't mean to pry, but I'm going to. So is there anything really serious and stressful going on right now in your life, or?
Not really. In my life, there's nothing serious. I mean, I've gone through so many stuff. I think when I was younger that I kind of because I went through when my grandpa passed away, and I was 14. First my grandma, then my grandpa, and then my dad passed away 3-4 years ago. So I think I go after all that. It's that's the hardest thing that I think any person can go through. It's so.
Do you use it on stage?
I used to do jokes about my dad before he passed away, and after that I still haven't been able to
go back to that,
to do just I mean, and I think it's gonna come out eventually naturally, but I don't want to force it, because it's but it's something that I haven't had I used to be making jokes about my dad all the time.
I make jokes about my dad and my mom, but they're alive. So
I'm so now my mom is the one that's taking the burden of the jokes.
My mother always asked me, why am I the butt of all your jokes? Why me? And I said, you're the funniest in the family.
It's hilarious.
She doesn't think so.
Yeah, of course, yeah. But yeah, man. But yeah, I mean, I think it's about, like you were saying, taking things lightly. It's like, I think we just, sometimes when we realize, when I start getting like stress about stuff, and then I go like, why?
Yeah.
I mean, and it's a human thing. Like, we get stressed for,
Yeah.
you know, like if I had an addition or something, or like something.
Traffic. It
or
could be all
something,
the
yeah.
silly stuff.
Yeah,
even.
something like, why?
Yeah.
But-
Other people are dying or getting crippled.
I know.
Ended up in a wheelchair. And
Yeah,
they're
I always go
stressed
to
out.
like, there's
5
people like.
extra minutes on the freeway.
Yes. Yeah. So people are you're looking for food, and you're like, you're worrying about that you're gonna get there 5 minutes late.
So it's balance, right? Keep it in perspective.
Yes.
Kinda.
Yeah, I think it's
You think it's harder for us entertainers in comics?
I think it is, because we're basically facing rejection every day.
Yeah.
You know, like it could be for auditioning, or it could be for even as going up as a comic. You know, like
because we're giving it up in the rawest form. Stuff that's like
I'm putting being vulnerable right away. So I think it is. You gotta have thick skin to be a entertainer, because it's like. It's not like a...
I think it's got to be one of the hottest jobs in the world, next to picking fly shit out of black pepper with boxing gloves or something. But you know what I'm saying? It's got to be one of the hottest jobs.
Yeah. You know, which I think, the other day I was watching this, I think one of the hardest jobs could be, it's like, like there was a guy who actually, like, he jerks off, like, the horses. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's a job. Like,
that sounds easier than comedy.
Yeah, no, but I mean, that's like, imagine that, like 8 hours you're jerking horses off, That's
yeah.
I just
for breeding, right? For sperm.
Yeah, but like, I just imagine.
I'm a breeder. No, you jerk horses off. Is what you do.
I just imagine how like the guy that's like, what kind of music does he listen to while he's just to get away from it? Like, I'm thinking it's got to be something like the most like it could be like, why do birds? So I mean, something like has nothing to do while you're, because you don't want to hear the horse going like for like 8 hours. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, you don't want to hear like masturbation hits best of or something. Doing that, right? I mean,
that's gonna suck. But yeah, so I like my job.
So you like your job better compared to the guy who's the horse breeder.
The horse breeder.
Let's be nice.
The horse breeder, yes. Yeah, not the horse whisperer.
Single-handedly.
Yeah, single-handedly jerking one horse at a time. Yeah.
Hey, I bet you he makes a lot of money.
Oh, no, I mean, you gotta make, I mean, who's doing that? And plus, like, to be like...
I'd be waiting online if it's got a couple of zeros on the end of that sucker.
I'm like, does he have a business card? Like, hey, I'm the horse breeder.
Could you imagine? Everything's photo cards now. Could you imagine?
Yeah, right? Hey, is that a penis? Yes.
Hey, I think Francisco is definitely Sicilian, part Sicilian, because he's been talking with his hands the entire time of this show.
That's that's funny, because we're very, like...
Is it just Latin?
I think that, like, we talk a lot with our hands.
Hey!
Yeah, like, we're always doing this and done like that. And it's amazing. And that's... Yeah, I always notice that, too, because it's like... We do a lot, even like sometimes when I'm like, doing like acting class or stuff like that, they're going like, hey, stop using your hands. I'm like, well, that's how I talk, But yeah, I think that's, those Sicilians, they talk. All
the Italians, man. You tell my whole Italian family with their hands.
Yeah. Well, Venezuela is like, it's very Italian, like concentrated on like because like a lot of Italians moved there in the 50s.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of like, Italian culture and like Italian like, immigration over there. So there's a lot of them. Like
music's all very similar.
Yeah. That's why I always like. I love Italian culture. I think it's one of those like. If I mean, that's why I think I'm so like drawn to like, movies like, especially like mafia movies and stuff like that. I just see it like it's so like fun. I wish. If I was in a comic, I think when it was like in the 50s, I would have been like in the Rat Pack or something like that. Just been like just drinking scotch and just,
Well, speaking about the Rat Pack, we had you at a Rat Pack show recently in Venice Beach, California. And that was a lot of fun.
That was fun. That was a great show.
Yeah,
it was a great turnout.
A night with Dwayne Perkins. I know you're friends with Dwayne.
Yeah. He was working out on his hour, and it was great. It was fun. It was a great show. And
you killed it.
Thanks, man. I appreciate it.
Audience loved you.
Yeah, it was fun.
Audience loved you.
It was
afterwards, so many people who said great show were like, oh, Francisco.
Thanks, man. No, it was great. It was fun. It was like cool. I'd never done that room, so thank you for getting me there, but it was great.
Great
show.
Yeah, get out and see Francisco. Once you do, definitely get hooked up with his website and everything, because great show. Is really funny guy. I'm a big fan of yours.
Thank you, man. I appreciate it. Thank you.
Big fan of yours. So what do you think's going to be next for you? Francisco. I mean, I know it's hard to look into a crystal ball, and it's hard to tell, and there's valleys and dips, and you're up and you're down in this business. And I know you don't have rose-colored glasses, so I'm not, I'm not looking for, I'll be a superstar in a few years.
Yeah.
But what's some more of the work, or what do you want to do? Where do you see yourselves in the future?
I mean, I think, I just want to keep doing more stand-up, especially do more shows on the road, like getting, even internationally. I love to get to that, and, using my, also, I'm completely fluent in Spanish, so that's something that I want to start doing, like more comedy in Spanish, like taking stand-up, like my stand-up in Spanish. And then
well, you have an advantage there.
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing that I want to use, as well as, like, and even, like, and then I also love acting. I love creating. I love producing. So it's like, in one way or another, if I'm in the show, or I created the show, or just something where I'm, like, part of a show that I involved at, that's the thing that I want to, do, too. Yeah. That I'm working towards, too,
Yeah. So the producing, that comes from, I guess, all the technology these days. We're producing ourselves. Producing our own shows and content and material. So you're used to it and you like it, huh?
Yeah. I mean, I think it's I love the whole point of creating and trying to, like, find innovative ways to just, you just bring your ideas that you have, because right now with technology you can actually, even with a low budget, you can definitely come with, like, show your ideas and put it out there, and then somebody, if it could go viral, it could get something, or it could go in the front of the right people, and then they can just actually give you more money to produce your same idea,
Yeah.
So, and that's the whole point, I think.
So you like that YouTube stuff, huh? You talked about going viral.
Yeah.
And you do some improv. Have you done any sketches? Are you doing some sketches?
Yeah. Actually, well, it's funny. I just did a sketch that came out, like, I think yesterday, with a friend of mine. Just a little quick sketch, and I want to just keep doing more, like, sketches here and there. Just to
same here.
Just
I'm
to
really
show.
liking it.
Just to show, what you can do as an actor, as a comic, and then just get exposure, get people to know you, that they might not see your comedy, but because of how the internet is,
Get it out there.
Get it out there.
So many people.
Yeah.
It's incredible.
Yeah.
I just finished Snickers with Johnny Cardinelli. That is on YouTube doing really good. And,
oh, really?
Yeah, so...
That's awesome. I'd love to see that one.
Yeah.
Is that the one about like, a parody of a commercial of the Snickers commercial?
It's a parody of a Snickers
commercial. Of, like, when you change, like, hey...
Yeah. Okay. Fun Size, it was called.
Oh, that's funny.
Of course, the fun size, Francisco.
Yes, of course. You're not the king size, that's for sure.
Yeah, it was great advertising.
Yeah.
Great advertising for us.
Yeah, that's great.
And
awesome. Love to see it.
I want to do some more stuff with you.
Yeah, well, let me know.
We need to get something going sketch-wise.
Yeah.
Because you're really funny.
Thanks, man.
You're really funny.
Well,
I want to be in something.
We gotta talk. We gotta talk on the boat.
Yeah, I want to work on something with you for sure.
Awesome.
For sure. Okay, well, what we're gonna do is have you back soon. Is that okay? Will you come back?
Yes.
And we're gonna mic the boat at the helm.
Okay.
And really do some serious sailing and some serious wind. And then we're going to edit some pieces from that. And we're going to check out the real Francisco under pressure.
When I be like screaming like a girl, yes. That's what's going to happen.
I was hoping not. That's not what I was
Well, I'm just saying it just in case. Maybe it doesn't happen, but just in case, it's like, at least I warned you that was going to happen.
Yeah, I guess we're going to find out, aren't we?
Yeah. Well, that's the thing. When you realize how a person really is when like, when you're about to, like, face something dangerous or something, that's when you're, like, it could be, like, the biggest, like, dude, like, hey, I'm good. And then all of a sudden something happens, just start screaming. All right, buddy.
Yeah, I want to find out who I want to be with in case, Armageddon and we need to take off with the ship.
Of course. I want to know, like, if I'm going to be able to survive, or who am I, or do I have to kill you first to eat you? Like,
exactly.
Or can we just cut you a little piece?
Well, you see the size of me? Fun size. Nobody's cutting me up.
I mean, you're like just a lunch. You're a snack.
Yeah,
you're a prosciutto.
I'm the last guy they're gonna cut up, so I'm happy about that.
No, they might just go for the appetizer first, and which is you, and then
I know too much. Now you're on the thin side, so
So
he's gonna last. We better take a couple of fat people with us. That's
of course, so we can store them, for the winter season.
Oh yeah, we could use them for ballast, for balance in the
everything,
storm,
just to sleep.
And if we need to get rid of them, we got a meal for like 3 months.
Of course, but hopefully it doesn't rot. But
We cut them up. We cook them all first. We use them to catch some big fish, some sharks.
Yeah.
Shark steaks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that's a way how I would go, like, to see if the meat is good. If I just put it out there, if the sharks are eating. If not, they were like, no, this is not good. I'm like, I'm not eating this, fat people. This is shit. Even the sharks
Is
don't
it
want
tougher? It must be tougher. I'm betting it's
to
tougher.
be what, fat?
Yeah, no. When you eat fat people, they're tougher than
Oh, like the meat,
leaner
like it's
people.
tough?
Yeah. It must
I
be
guess.
chewy.
I guess it's like, yeah. I mean, especially what part of the body you're eating. You know.
So
what I'm saying?
I better be careful because maybe now being fun size.
I think so because
I'm more tender. I'm like filet mignon.
You're like a little
something.
filet mignon. Yeah. You're just you're a tiny filet mignon.
Great. How do we get on this subject?
I don't know. Like we started just talking about eating people.
So where are you playing soon? You want to give some shows? This will be out in the next 24 hours or so anyway. So why don't you plug some stuff you're doing?
This weekend I'm going to be at the Comedy and Magic Club in Hermosa Beach. You know, just doing the Fridays and Saturday shows. I'm doing a show in Santa Monica, the West Side Theater on Sunday. So I think it's at 7:30 or 8. You know, and then you can always check my.
Are you on the road soon?
I'm gonna be on the road. I'm gonna do
because this is worldwide. This show.
Yeah, I'm gonna go to DC. I think May 17th or the 18th to do some shows over there. And then I'm gonna do one in June, like in Philadelphia, and do a show over there as well. And then I know I have some show schedules for the fall for colleges that I do. Colleges during the fall. So.
Oh, great.
So, but you can just always check my Twitter or my website, you know.
That's a good gig, the colleges, huh?
Yeah, that's great. Those are fun, you know. Right. They're great. They're cool, too.
Very receptive?
Some.
Yeah?
It just depends on how it's set up. Sometimes you do a show where it's like in an auditorium and they're ready to go.
That's coming from one of the funniest guys I know. He goes, some.
Yeah, because then...
So if you're not funny...
No, some shows you're doing like at 3 in the afternoon in a cafeteria. I mean, so it's like... I mean, it's not conducive to comedy while some kid is buying some fried chicken over there. You know, so it's like, so it depends on
throwing chicken bones at you when you suck. Right?
Yeah, of course.
You ever get anything thrown at you anywhere?
Thrown at me? No, I never had any. No, I haven't had that many hecklers or anything like that.
That's why my vision's so bad. It's all projectiles,
all this stuff
poked in the eye, and
Jesus, what kind of shows
are you doing? I used to do dinner clubs, forks, knives in New York.
Oh, wow!
Don't do dinner clubs. I no longer do dinner clubs.
I didn't know that was.
Ever since I lost my sight from doing dinner clubs.
That like what? A fork got you in there?
Yeah, I got nailed with a fork.
Who threw it?
More than once. Really? One of the people right in the front.
And they still on the show. They didn't get kicked out. Like, sir, stop throwing.
No, it's dark. They can't even tell who did it.
Oh,
like,
Jesus.
Yeah, you got to come off the stage and get crazy on it.
Well, no, I'm not doing no dinner jokes.
You think it's easy up in Harlem?
Hilarious.
Well, it's been great having you, Francisco.
No, thank you for having me, man.
Hopefully we hear more and see more and you come back.
Awesome. Thank you for having me on your boat. Appreciate it.
Thank you. Thanks, everybody, for listening. Thanks for joining us. Get in touch with us. It's Twitter. It's hashtag Tony Milazzo Live. TonyMilazzo.com. This airs on iTunes, live and onboard.TonyMilazzo.com also. Thanks for tuning in live from Marina Del Rey Harbor in beautiful sunny California, United States of America. Ahoy.